Yeah, I'm going to tell a little bit about Goldshore Resources. Almost a year ago, we acquired the Moss Lake project from Wesdome Gold Mines for $52 million. And subsequent to that, we raised $25 million to support the deal. And over the past 18 months, we've raised $50 million in support of this project. And I got interested in this project because it has a number of things. It has size, it has scale, it has potential to be the next tier 1 asset in Ontario. So it was really the attraction for me. We've put together a very top quality management team and board. And the project is actually in one of the lowest risk jurisdictions in the world. It's in a little province called Ontario. And what we acquired was a 4 million ounce historical resource, and it is economic in its own right today. Our strategy was to take it up, drill this thing out to see if we can achieve tier 1 status, which is 10 million ounces plus upside, 10-year mine life plus obviously upside, and large production profile and lower half of the cost curve. What we're trying to create here is a multi-generational mine. So we embarked on our program last year, 100,000 meters. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the people. These things always start with people. I've been in this business 36 years now. I run a number of public companies, both in London and in Toronto, and most recently in Africa for a number of private equity clients. Peter Flindell's our VP of Exploration. He also has been in this business for 35 years. We've been together for 18 years, and he's one of the world's most renowned geologists in greenstone belts. And Marlis Yassin is our CFO working here out of Vancouver. But we've assembled a number of men and women who are CEOs in their own right. They have large investor bases, large networks, and the real design of putting this group together was to use their network and get the story out there, and it's been quite successful. As I said, we are in just outside of Thunder Bay, Ontario. We're about 130 kilometers away from Thunder Bay, and this is a low-grade, high-volume, bulk tonnage style deposit, much like Detour Lake is in Northern Ontario as well. I'm going to jump right into the project economics because there is a historical PEA done on this project back in 2013, and it was updated in 2020. And 3 million ounces of our 4 million ounce resource gets pulled into the shell, 2.5 million ounces of output, 10-year mine plan, 250,000 ounces a year. And one would think that is economic in its own right, and $922 cash cost. This is our starting point. This is what we're going to build on. We hope to be able to bring 8 or 9 or 10 million ounces into the new PEA 12 months from now. Those economic inputs drive out the economic outputs here. The base case was used at $15.46 gold, and it generates an NPV of $334 million. Companies like ours at this stage of development, and when I look for origination and ideas, I value them at about 0.3 times NPV. That's 100 cap today at $15.46 gold. Gold's trading at $1,800, and that's almost a $700 million market NPV post-tax, and that's a $200 million market cap. Today, we're sadly at $55 million, but I don't have to talk about the macro for gold. Everyone's been talking about it here all week, and the market is significantly depressed. But we have leverage, we have size, we have scale, and this will correct itself. But trading in this gold range, $1,800 to $2,200, at this starting point gives investors we can create a lot of value for them over the next 12 to 24 months. When you look at us on a per ounce basis, we're actually trading at $14 an ounce today. It takes $30 an ounce to find gold, and we're trading at $14, and our peer group average is around $45 of like-for-like comparisons. A peer group that are same style of deposit, same jurisdiction, and same stage of development. We have about 18.9 million in the bank today. That was as of April 19th. And we've got about 135 million shares out. This is our project. And I'd like to spend a little bit of time on this because it's quite important. When I see projects and I see Northern Arctic or northern provinces or unusual jurisdictions, I look at the infrastructure around them. Is this project doable? Will this project go into production? And we are on the Trans-Canada Highway. We have two major rail lines, CN and CP, on our doorstep with a rail siding on our site. We have access to water, people, government, contractors. We are 100 kilometers away from an international port. This is the making of a district-scale mining camp. 10-cent kilowatt-hour power running right by our doorstep, which is one of the most important aspects of building a low-cost mine. Some of the historical grades I'm going to scan over. This is a bit of the Coles Notes version of our presentation, simply because of the time frame, but we are getting tremendous correlation to some of our historic results. 1.1, 1.2 grams over big intercepts of 180, 170, 160 meters. Most recently, we had a high-grade hole. We hit 58 meters at 6 grams, with 6 meters at 61 grams. Again, some really stunning geology that will be the making of a very strong PEA. Some of the infrastructure we built at site, we have accommodations for about 60 people, and we have about, in total with geos and geotechs, about 27 people on our roster, and we have 7 drill rigs running at this time for our program. We also have a very strong commitment to ESG. We expect to sign an exploration agreement with our First Nations host community in the next month. Again, we are doing things to a standard. We are doing things that junior miners don't normally do, because what I'm trying to do is speed up the process here of when we get into permitting and getting this thing into construction. This is really about creating value. We're also doing an environmental baseline study, again, to try and take about a year off permitting when we get there. Some of the results of our VTEM survey were quite astounding. We have major 12-kilometer zone of gold mineralization at Moss Lake. The existing resource sits in 2.5 kilometers, and we're going to be drilling up to 10 or 12 kilometers throughout the next 8 months in our 100,000 meter program. But we also have copper gold, we have polymetallic targets, and we also have cobalt up in North Coldstream. So I'm quite excited about the optionality, but we are focused on Moss Lake. And then it comes to our drilling. So we're going to be drilling pretty extensively over the next 7 or 8 months, all the way to the end of the year. And yes, we'll drill on beyond that. But in December of this year, once we collect all the data, it's our intention to update the mineral resource estimate and see if we can achieve this Tier 1 status and a path to even greater things. And then Q1 of next year, we're going to update and do a brand new PEA, of which the economics will flow from that. And you've seen the starting point that we have. At that point in time, we have a bit of a decision to make, because we would be getting into feasibility study, and we'd be getting into permitting, and we'd be getting into taking this to the next level. And I think we need to strategize at that point in time as to what direction we go to. Because if we're a 10 million ounce deposit, you can count on one hand how many 10 million ounce discoveries there's been in the last 10 years in Ontario. And this will be a very desirable asset. I get it, it's going to be about $1 billion of capex to build this, but there are obviously lots of partners out there that we will discuss this with over the next 6 to 8 months. So, I think we have one of the greatest groups of people on our board and on our advisory board, guys who have been in this business for an awful long time. We are in one of the lowest risk jurisdictions in the world. We have known mineralization over 15 kilometers. We actually have it over 20 kilometers, but our VTEM survey for Moss Lake is 15 kilometers. The other copper targets contained in the other 5 kilometers. So we have a lot of, I'll say, exploration upside for the future. But we have targeted a deposit that has the potential to be well greater than 10 million ounces. We have the right people doing kind of the right things at the right time in this cycle. I don't control the gold price. Nobody can, but we are going to enter a time when I think we can create real value for our shareholders. We're trading at 45 cents today, about a $52 million market cap. And as I showed, there's tremendous upside, and that's our starting point. when we get to Tier 1 status, when we get to 10 million ounces. So I'm quite excited about what the next 8 or 10 months of news flow, every 2 weeks drill results coming out into the market, and I'm quite excited about the opportunities.